Hello everyone. Today's video you're going to find is going to be much what you learned before, but it's just another level of depth, another level of complication. Maybe sometimes it's said it's another level of work, but it's the same idea that we've already discussed. So we'll dive right in, and hopefully it'll make sense. Welcome to today's math lesson on two-step equations. These two-step equations are going to be a little more complicated than what you've done in the past. So for example, if I've got 5 minus x equals 18, you think, well, wait a second, isn't that something like what we've looked in the past? This negative sign on the x is what's going to give us grief. You can think of it there being a 1 there, but the two steps of this equation, all these equations show two steps. First, get rid of this positive 5, and then get rid of this negative that's on the x. So as we undid before, we'll undo first of all any add or subtract. And on this side, I'm left with this negative sign is still with the x, this minus that stays with it, whatever's in front of that variable. This goes to 0, 18 minus 5 is 13. So there we go. The negative of what is 13? And you may already see it, but the mathematical way to resolve it, there's a negative 1 there. So you divide by negative 1, so that can just reduce to 1, divide by negative 1, and x becomes, your calculator will tell you, negative 13. So on these two-step equations where it looks a little different or it looks a little weird, just follow the same steps. Undo PEMDAS in opposite order. Undo add and subtract, and then do undo multiply and divide, and it will give you the final answer. I could put negative 13 in there. 5 minus negative 13. Is that in fact equal to 18? And you'll find with a calculator, or if you know that minusing and negative is adding, either way though, you'll see that yes, it is the same. Another one that you might see it look like this. 18, let's do 180, let's not use the same numbers. 180 equals 16 plus 4x. Well, you see that, you see this x all the way over here, and you see the 80, and it looks like it's in this messed up order. It's not. It's still the same process. We still undo, add and subtract, and then we undo, multiply and divide. There's nothing changing there. So this 16 is positive. The sign in front of it is positive, so we minus 16 on both sides. That equal sign is still there, and this, your calculator will tell you, is 164. What's left over here with that going to 0 is just plain old 4x. Then it's a one-step equation, divide by 4 on each side. X on this side, it's 1x, is 41. So it doesn't matter what side the variable is on or how it's written, what order it's written, it's still the same process. Reduce out the add and subtract, and then reduce out the multiply and divide. What if I've got, let's go ahead and do it. Negative 8 minus 5x equals 46. Still, it's that strange order. It's a negative 8, so we add 8 onto both sides. Over here, the 8's go to 0, so negative 5x equals, and you add those up to get 54. It's all right that it's a negative number on there. You just divide off the negative number. It's just as much a number as any other number. X is 54 divided by negative 5, your calculator will tell you, is negative 10.8. Or if your calculator gives you negative 10 4/5, it's the same thing. You can have fractions, decimals. You'll see often math teachers will create assignments where the numbers are nice and easy and integers that you're used to. Sometimes it doesn't work out like that. And then we sometimes have problems like this. It's still a two-step equation, but you've got this 4 that's divided off the entire side of the equal sign. Well, now it's not just on the x. So now what I've told you before about first undo, add, and subtract, and then undo, this. The reason that doesn't work is because this 4 is on all of it. The 4 is not just attached to the x, it's attached to everything. So we have to unattach it. One way to see that it's attached to everything, see if this makes sense. If that, it's the exact same thing because it's just 1/4 of that. And you can see that I can't get this 3 because it's stuck in those parentheses. So I have to undo the parentheses last. So I'd have to do that first. If I've lost you with that, just pretend I didn't say that. It can be kind of an honors level thing. But first we have to undo this divide to get it off of the entire side of the equation. So we multiply both sides by 4. Those go to 1. X minus 3 is 20. Now it's a one-step equation from before. Add 3 to both sides. Whoa. And x equals 23. And if you want, you can check yourself by putting this 23 back in. 23 minus 3, that's 20. 20 divided by 4 is 5, so we know that we did it right. So that's the kind of work that you'll be doing on the assignment today. And if I can just show you one or two of these to help out. This positive 10 has to be undone first, so I subtract 10 from both sides. Show the steps, write the work that you're doing. Now I'm at 15 equals negative m. And the negative of what is 15? Well, if you divide by -1 from both sides, you're left with m on this side and negative 15 on that side. There's your answer. And yes, you'll constantly see it written where the variable is written first. Number 8. On this one, again, you first of all get rid of that positive 2. So I end up with -2 over here and a divided by 6 over there. To undo the 6 that's divided on, I multiply it back on. They reduce there, so on this side of the equation, I'm left with -12 equals just plain old 1a. And it's okay that it's in a different order. You first of all undo the add and subtract, and then you undo this 6 that's multiplied on. Doesn't matter which order. Let's do one of these ones right here, where the whole side of the equation is divided by 3. So I have to multiply both sides of the equation by 3. When I multiply by 3 on both sides, -7 plus b is all alone, and this is -9. And then that -7, I add it back onto both sides. b is -2. -9 plus 7 gets you -2. Down here towards the bottom, these last ones, these are honors level work. We've got decimals, we've got fractions going on. Let's say on this one, let's say I multiply both sides by -3. And a minus 2.4 is on that side. And 2.5 times -3, your calculator can give you an answer there. Finally, the last step to get a alone, just add the 2.4 back on. And you're left on this side of the equation with just plain old a. And on this side of the equation, your calculator will give you -5.1. And if you want to be sure, you can put that back in for a. -5.1 minus 2.4, all divided by -3. Does that give me 2.5? You'll find that it does. And there you have it, a couple examples from the assignment. If you're absent, don't feel like you have to do them all. We spend a lot of time in class working on these. If you can get at least half of them done, you're doing phenomenal. Check the answers on Canvas or where the answers are at, if they're there. And good luck. Let me know if you have questions. Reach out. Let me help if needed. Have a great day.